Everyone has to begin their modern board gaming hobby somewhere, and for a lot of us, it's with one of the big three gateway games, Catan, Ticket to Ride, or Carcassonne. And now that we're well and deep in the hobby, we're going to have a look back at those three games and see what we think of them now. Coming up. Hi, it's Tarrant.
And Stella from Meeple University. Welcome back to our Tabletop Diary. Hopefully you've been enjoying our vlog so far. Every Thursday evening in Australia or Thursday morning in the US, usually. And thank you so much for commenting on our previous vlog as well. I really enjoyed looking forward to read your comments there. This week we have a topic that Tarrant actually came up with, and
It sounds so surprised.
No, it was like, because I haven't finished. I said, because it is a really good topic, and that is right. Did you start with one of those three games? Did you not? Maybe you start with Monopoly? Tarrant.
So what I thought we'd do, we'd go through each of those three games. I don't know if they're actually called the big three gateway games, but that's how I think of them. From 1995, Settlers of Catan. From 2001.
Long.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Long time out there. From 2001, Carcassonne. And I think 2005 was... No, when was Ticket to Ride? 2000... I think it was a little later, but I can't remember now.
Oh.
Sorry about that. I feel bad about that now.
That's okay. I'll probably put a note in the screen somewhere at editing.
It'll just make me look stupid.
No, I have no idea. You have better ideas than me. Anyways, please continue, sir.
Yep. So what we'll do, we'll go through each of those. We'll just recount our own personal experiences with them because we would each have played them before we met each other, and what we think of them as games either then or now. So I reckon we start with Catan. It was my gateway. I forget who brought it to it was when I was playing games with a group of friends from work. I forget who brought the game, but...
I don't know about this story, by the way, so this is news for me as well, so yeah.
But it was very eye-opening, and it was very... it was the first modern game I'd seen. It had these mechanisms I'd never seen before, and it instantly made me want to go out and get it, and I played it a lot over that first year. It was very much my gateway.
That was the basic Catan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And I just like the... it's so simple, but it has enough different pathways to victory. It's not too long. It still has a bit of randomness with the dice, but then it's so much of the game is the negotiation over resources. It's got just enough blocking on the board. I mean, you can see why it's been such a successful game over so long.
Yeah, and there are so many different themes as well, and expansions.
Yep.
I don't think that was actually one of my first games. Well, it's probably still in the early days, but it wasn't the one that made me... Wow, board game.
Yeah.
I think it was actually the Red Dragon Inn.
Oh, yeah.
Funnily, it was a friend's birthday, and it was like 8 of us, and I got in late, and I was watching people playing games. And I was that looks so fun. So I started, and then they kind of be a little bit gentle at me at the start because they play board games more often than me at the time.
Yeah.
I started playing that, and they gently didn't really attack me, and I really enjoyed Red Dragon Inn.
Yeah.
And from then on, I started to look up, because we weren't together then, I started to look up for public board game meetup. And then the first game that I played there was one of the Forbidden
Desert?
I think Desert. I'm pretty sure it was Desert. Forbidden Desert.
Yeah.
Although we lost at the time, I'm pretty sure we lost.
It's a tricky one.
Yeah, and we played Jaipur. I remember that because I think the other two players are gone, and then it's the two of us, and we played Jaipur.
Yeah.
and I can't remember the rest. I think that's just the first 3 games that I play, and then Catan came a little bit later, and I was like, wow, and then I got the Catan. I bought it. Yeah.
So what were your thoughts on Catan as a game?
At the start I enjoy it. Back then I enjoy that. But like learning at the time those mechanics are new to me. Yeah. But I kind of like I think I was already slightly frustrated on the dice roll, because I always think, you know this, I always
hate dice.
I don't hate dice. I think that dice is usually not on my side if it's really heavily based, and I think in Catan it tends to be like that.
Yeah.
And I was like a bit too ginger on negotiation at the time, so I was like, yeah, okay, but it was fun, but it wasn't as I would probably prefer the other 2 gateways.
Yeah, it does have that flaw. If there's one thing that came to bother me about Catan, if there was 2 things that came to bother me about Catan, one was that you could set up with a whole lot of 9s and 10s and then 11 and sorry, that's 3 dice. You can set up with a lot of 6 and 5s, but then the 8s and 9s are the ones that get rolled.
I know.
I don't know why I suddenly thought it was a 3 dice game.
No, 2 dice.
That's like your best laid plans can fall apart, but that's the nature of a game with dice. I still think the game flows quickly enough that doesn't
really
detract.
bother you too much. Yeah.
I think if there's one thing that does, it's that we play a lot of 4-player. So I always found 2-player was a bit dull. You never interacted enough on the island. Yeah. 4-player, 50% of games, someone would get wedged in the corner and just have a bad time.
Oh, I remember that, because we played with 4 players, and one of our friends walked out on the game because they basically got blocked. They can't really build anything. It's just completely blocked, and that's it. Like, I don't know if that's because of that, or I don't know, because they really have something else to do and left the game. At least they didn't flip the table. So
it's flip proof because it's in little.
You can flip one at a time. Flip.
So I mean that's a peril of the game, but at the same time, once you've played a few times, you know how to avoid that situation.
That's true.
I will say that I haven't played all the expansions, because I know there's a lot of variety on expansions.
The world brings variety. I haven't actually played a lot of expansions as well. That's probably why maybe the expansions make it a little bit more complex for us more gamers. I mean, look at us. We think like we're such a snob. We gamers. No, not really, no.
I've played Seafarers.
Yeah.
My experience on Seafarers was soured a little bit because the Seafarers book has some scenarios in it. And they give you like specific islands to set up, and we played a scenario where I think there was just an island of gold in the middle, and it was gold with a number 8 on it. So it was a really valuable place, and the game was just get there, and whoever got there first just got everything they needed. And that was it was like there was one way to win instead of lots of ways to win. And it did sour me a little bit on Seafarers, but overall I think it was I think if you took that scenario away and didn't use the gold.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember much about it, sorry.
Next one. I still think it stands up. We haven't played it for a long time. We have a lot of games, but I would still play it. I would still enjoy that game, knowing that yes, there's some dice, but
I'll play it again,
Yeah, there's dice, but at the same time, you know what you're getting into. It's not that long.
Yeah.
You can mitigate your dice risk. You can negotiate. Go and get a port and negotiate with
Maybe I've been playing it wrong. Maybe I should play it again and then try different strategy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still
Port, yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Next one is?
Carcassonne.
Yes. Carcassonne. I had that a lot of expansions.
Yep.
I have.
I have
a few expansions. I haven't played it for a while.
Yep.
And it's the first time I was playing. It was in my early days as well. It wasn't one of the first one, but still in the early days. I was like, I was amazed by it. What is this? you put the tile what? There's some randomness. I did find it enjoyable, but I did not actually win a lot, and then couldn't figure out things too quick. And later on the hobby, then I figured out that I'm not good at spatial rotation things. So whenever I do spatial, because Carcassonne is relying a lot on that as well.
Yeah.
You have to kind of like imagine the tiles on the main common area and then rotates. But I do enjoy it. But that's the thing. Like, so first we talk about dice and Catan, and then now the rotation thing.
Yeah.
So that's my kind of like my weaknesses, I guess. You?
For me, I don't actually remember when I first played Carcassonne. It wasn't one of my early gateways.
Right.
We may even have been together when I first played Carcassonne.
Really?
I don't have a strong memory of first playing Carcassonne.
Maybe on the board game weekend or something. It was with all.
I remember I'll come to that story.
Yeah, okay.
I would have played Basic
Yeah.
once or twice, maybe at a meetup. I don't know, but it was definitely never a game that grabbed me. Certainly in the physical form. You know, you took a tile. There weren't that many things to do with it. It was never one that grabbed me as such.
That's fair. Like,
it's the game that brought us the Meeple, but it's.
I do like the Meeple bit, and I do like the fact that you can try different strategy on the what you want to focus on, that sort of thing. I think that's kind of like a maybe first. I think it's more different strategy than Catan.
Yeah.
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 Didn't have a lot of memories on it.
Yeah, we played it on iPad a couple of times when we were on holidays once.
Yeah.
And I remember the game made more sense to me at that point. And there were a couple of things about it. One was that the game would tell you when there was no longer a tile that could go in a space, which was a strange thing. But basically, the game would look at all the tiles that were left, and if it knew there was nothing that fit that space anymore, it put an X there.
That makes it easier for me, actually. That's why I think I like it a little bit more. It helps me with my rotation and stuff. Was it at Disneyland when we were waiting for our ride?
We were doing it at Disneyland.
Yeah, I remember that now.
The joy of queues.
Yeah.
But I think that also meant you knew that if there was a space there and it looked really specific, but it wasn't X'd out, it was like, all right, if I get that next tile, it has to go there.
Yeah.
And it was, I think because it was all like small and on the iPad, that was when it clicked to me that's like, all right, well, the point of this game is not to make long roads or make big cities. The point is to get in on somebody else's city and score as many points off tiles that you didn't place as possible, which actually made it a bit of a mean game at 2 players. So, it was okay, but it was never a game that grabbed me.
Fair enough.
We did once play Big Box with everything and with like 8 players.
Yeah.
And
it's crazy,
that was bad. There were too many tiles, too many rules, too many people, too much downtime between turns. I wouldn't say it soured me on Carcassonne because I never loved it that much, but that was a bad way to play Carcassonne.
Fair enough. Last one,
Ticket to Ride.
That is my favorite out of the 3.
Yep.
I don't remember when I played this again. I think it was a bit later on, but I was like, that kind of like, it might be the first game that introduced me to route building.
Yeah.
I know it's a bit blocky as well, but I was like, wow, this is really good. And hand management.
Yeah.
Route building, hand management. I feel like, wow, really, you built from here, and then not only what's another one, goal fulfillment, order full, not order fulfillment, like a goal.
The goal fulfillments with the red cards.
Yeah, I think that would be my favorite out of the 3. So because there's maybe less track, it's push your luck, but there's not really rotation, and it's not really rolling dice.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
There's not that much around it. I do like the game. I think it still stands up as a good game and a good gateway. My first experience of it was Ticket to Ride Europe, which was the second one.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it was a 5-player game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'd played that one a few times before I played base US version.
Mm-hmm.
And the Europe one is a lot more forgiving because you can't really block someone by taking all of the routes in an area because
I like
you can
that one. Yeah.
yeah, because you've got the railway station that you can put to use someone else's track at a loss of points.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of more forgiving. And I remember that one had tunnels which were interesting, and it had a one that was worth 8 that was really valuable that everyone who won the game seemed to always have.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I enjoy, having later gone back and played the US version, I think I enjoy that one. I think the fear of being blocked is
It makes it
really,
tighter.
it's really and it's a more powerful mechanic than always being able to just use a station and get past it. So
But it's limited, isn't it? You can only do a
I think
certain
it's
number.
2 stations per person or something,
Yeah.
and each subsequent one costs you more points.
But then it doesn't make it's a bit more forgiving. Like you've put so much effort in building this, or maybe your gold card, and then it's gone. I would probably like the Europe better, with non-blocky one.
Yeah.
And you like the US better.
I think the US one is a more interesting game because it has that the decisions are harder.
We need to play other
I like when the
versions.
decisions are harder.
I know, I like tight.
Yeah. And I think
We haven't played the other versions. I think.
yeah, we haven't gone
Yeah.
past US and Europe. I know
Yeah.
there's lots of different versions out there. I don't know how many of them are just different maps versus how many have different mechanics.
Mechanics, yeah. I think since then we've got a few other route building one. Like one of the recent one is on the underground, which is really good.
Yeah.
I've
And
got
that was originally 2005, I
yes,
think.
yeah,
So,
and it's an older game, yeah. And then there's Imperial, which is also network building, resource collection, order fulfillment.
Yep.
And there's Airlines, which is probably, I would say, maybe a step up from Ticket to Ride. It's really nice, really elegant. I
Yep.
think I would really recommend that if you like Ticket to Ride.
I do really like Airlines,
Yeah.
and I always do try to
Is it
recommend
called
that.
Airlines?
Airlines Europe. is
Airlines
the one
Europe,
we
sorry,
have.
because I think there's another game called Airlines.
Yeah, I
This
think
is Airlines Europe.
because it's the same designer, Alan R. Moon,
Right.
and Airlines. Whether it was Airlines Europe or an original version of Airlines was his
okay.
first game. It came
Yeah.
out in 1990,
Wow.
long way back, and it had that little stock holding mechanic. Oh, not quite stock holding, but it had a similar mechanic, but the same sort of map work, and it's the
And
same sort of tightness. So it's a really nice game.
Not to forget Mini Express and Mini Rails. Mini Rails has been out for a while. One of my favorite games, and also Mini Express at the time of filming it was on Kickstarter.
Yep.
So I guess the 18xx, but I've never been playing a lot of 18xx games, so
It's a bit step up there from.
and Irish Gauge as well.
There's a lot of train
kind of
games
like
out
train
there.
games, yeah.
Yeah.
But those are the one that's that I can think of at the moment.
Yeah, I think Ticket to Ride. Out of those big 3, maybe it's my own personal experience with Carcassonne, but I think Ticket to Ride and Catan have a long future in holiday houses and collections of all complexities, because I think they do stand up as games.
All right. I think that I want to add. I know we have 3 gateway games. I want to add the 4th one or the half one is Splendor. Splendor is kind of like still Gateway, but it wasn't our Gateway. It's maybe this is one of my early games as well. Is Splendor that introduced me to the engine building mechanics, which I really like. And Splendor, and as some people say there's a bit of a luck base or fault in the game, but I still enjoy it because it's the engine building bit. And
Yeah, that was one of my gateways as well. I had the same reaction to Splendor as I did to Catan when I first played it. It's quick and it's thinky, but it's got various paths of strategy. It does have its issue is its top deck issue, but
it's a quick enough game.
So many games have a top deck element in there that.
What is the top deck element?
Where if the right card comes off the top of a deck, then you
like,
can just get it straight away and go from there. And I mean, you say that's an issue, but so many games, particularly on the lighter side, have that. So
it's not really an issue, but
it's not a huge issue because you should still be buying you might get a couple of cards that way, but you should still be buying low cards to fit a strategy to gain a high card.
Yeah, so that's it. So anything else you want to shout out, mention?
I guess if there's one game that should, and maybe it's because it's too similar to Ticket to Ride, but if there's one game that really should be among those and just never stayed caught on, I think it's Turn and Taxis.
Oh yeah, that's a good one as well.
That was 2006. It won the Spiel des Jahres. It is kind of Ticket to Ride in the way you pick up the cards to get your routes, but then you're building your routes out and scoring points in a different way. I think, maybe because it relied so heavily on the Ticket to Ride mechanic, it didn't take that same prevalence as it did. But it's it's a really nice step up. It's hard to get these days as well. Yeah, but it's a really nice step up from Ticket to Ride as well.
That's true. So, do any of those games are part of your Gateway games? Write in the comment sections below, or any other games that that you discover first as your the game that got you into board gaming, basically.
Yeah. And if you are if you have graduated from those games to playing on Mars every other week, and
that's like a big step up.
Games in the 4 to 4.5 difficulty, how do those old classics still stack up? Can you still pull out a Catan and play a good game of it?
Good point. Good questions. So if you wouldn't mind, hit the like button. That'll help us. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to us. You can also hit the Meeple in the corner and hit the bell so you won't miss anything from us when we publish new exciting videos. I also am on social media, Twitter, Instagram, so hopefully I will see you there too. Until next time.